Hey guys, what's up and welcome to the Libra reading. So I feel pulled to start with an oracle message for this reading, so that's what I'm going to do. Okay, we have leaping through the air. A plan you have made is on track. If you are waiting for something, get to work and stop putting off ideas or projects you are considering. So let's look at what this could be. A plan you have made is on track. Let's see how you're feeling right now. Okay, pretty victorious, which is a good sign. Maybe you're in some kind of a communication phase about something, standing on business. This is also where you kind of, you're taking a lot of the things that you love about life, or the things that you would over and over again take time to preserve in this lifetime. There's something really tied to this. Let me see if I can find another, to the 10 of Wands. There's some kind of like long-standing issue that I think that this could be regarding, is like, whatever this is, it feels like there is a deep personal belief where it's like it hasn't been resolved until now. It hasn't been able to be resolved. It almost kind of reminds me of like how people have an issue with the government, but then it's like too large to fight, so you just hunker down and get used to living with it being a monstrosity. This is kind of the energy of like going and pursuing that battle, maybe not as large as large of a scale as like the government, but this actually, sorry, I'm trying to adjust this actually does seem like it's something like that, where it's been needing to change for a while. It hasn't been. There's people who are oppressed within it. Maybe if you are a parent in some way, there's other little people who are, you know, getting the shorter end of the stick because of something. You're trying to protect, you're trying to do something here. You're trying to offer love to a situation that I think doesn't hear it. It doesn't respond to that. But you're trying to, it's like you're battling it, but when you're dealing with whoever you're trying to help, it does seem like you're just trying to love those people. So it does seem like you are in some early communication of things. Maybe things aren't really at a level where they are like more of a professional communication between each other, or a mutual or understandable communication. So oh, okay. Let's see what this is. Oh, this is kind of just telling me maybe what's happened in your past. So it's like there's a way where maybe you had people trying to advocate for you, or you felt not advocated for in some way. And then something happened where it's like now you have this ability to kind of fight for something that you didn't get. It's like, but you have a chance to give it to someone else. You took your losses, you started anew anyways. Your healing has come from acknowledging in the first place that you had something terrible happen, that you had something break your heart, or you had something that didn't help your heart grow or bloom in the way that it wanted to before. It looks like you're actively defending someone else or others so that they can have a good environment to bloom in. So that's kind of interesting. And then debilitated. Let's see what this actually says, because I think this might be a card of Libra. Is it? I don't know. I always get Libra energy off this card, so maybe that's just my interpretation of it. But if you put a well-organized city dweller deep in the wild woods, they'd be accidentally debilitated, out of their element, and pushed to live up to their potential. They may be uncomfortable, but the situation offers a chance to stretch further and develop their soul. The same goes for a planet in a sign or placement that's awkward with its nature. For example, Mercury is the least mercurial when it's in Pisces, opposite of sign Virgo, which it rules. Here, Mercury can bestow a great mind, but in an intuitive, integrated, imaginative way, not a mind to escape in purely intellectual pursuits. This time, you are the invaluable sidekick. This is not your game, but you have a lot to contribute nonetheless, and the long-term benefits will be worth your efforts. Learn and listen rather than assert yourself in your opinions. Use your strength and leadership skills to support and center another person or project. Pass the ball to someone who is in a position to run with it. Back up a leader, do the work behind the scenes, and bolster the team. If you're not ready to do this work, you can pass that ball and leave the field, but consider redefining your idea of success. Stay here and you can grow needed skills, expand your repertoire and contacts, and build up trust among others who can help you in the future. Everything you learn, all the contacts you make, prepare you for when it is your turn. Whether you're an artist among the engineers or a linebacker among the ballerinas, you may struggle to apply your talents in this situation. In these moments, it's easy to slip into self-pity and self-doubt. You are being challenged to grow in ways you can't predict. You are being asked to diversify, stretch, and strengthen your weak muscles. Only you can decide if it's time to take that challenge, but this experience also encourages you to love yourself in the quiet moments and to appreciate what you bring to the table even when nobody else notices. I do think that a big portion of what's going on here is that you can't not be invested in this. It's like, it's likely triggering at some level, but it's also something that you've seen what happens when people go without it, or when they don't have when they have other needs and they're not getting those met, and yet everyone else can get their needs met because they're more mainstream needs or something. There's something like that I think that you are helping others with. The challenge, I think, is to reach out to the people who can go to bat with you. If you haven't found them yet, I think that this situation stays a little dormant until you find them. You might even be socializing a lot and like noticing that you're meeting some, some people who are pillars in the community that you didn't kind of commune with before, that you didn't really circle in the same groups and stuff as before. I think that there's ways that those people will help you later on. If you haven't met them yet, I think that this is like where if you are like antisocial or there's other things that are going on where you don't like meeting new people or you don't like working with new people or whatever, I think that there is some way where you can kind of like start to look for maybe people who are invested in the same things and who kind of know how to navigate those systems. You might also be running into people who have kind of like failed at doing that themselves too. And I think that there might be some situation there to say, look at if it's worked for them, how they fight it, or look at if it's like, there might be a million people who all fight the same way, but if none of them see progress, then I think it's kind of saying like, keep an eye out for those who are seeing that progress in their own lives and making the effort to like change alongside enacting change. It's a slower process than anyone wants it to be. It's like, I think that there's like a message here that's like, be wary of people who are who are quick to side with you, because while that may provide support, it might not provide the right support for the future for what you're trying to do. But it is always nice to just have people help back you up as a person, as an individual. When it comes to actually like battling these things, though, I wonder if this is where you reach out to resources that you know have worked through those things and have successfully navigated them before, and try to kind of like develop working relationships with those people if you don't already have them. I wonder if some of you guys are like on the fence about certain things. It's almost like, I wonder if some of you guys are at odds with some of those people, or you don't fully trust them. Feels like there's some kind of a betrayal there. You question their morals, you question their kind of like ability to help support whatever cause this is, whatever your goal is. It's almost like, Libra, I think what's happening is that you're needing to use people in positions who might not be great at other things, but they're great at this. It's almost like if you're like a mother-in-law or like a father-in-law and they're like really not great with you or with the people that you care about, but they have spent time going through these kinds of battles and coming out, I don't want to say the winner, but coming out, like having their needs met or getting their point across, especially if they've defended other people. I think that this is where you might be resourcing out to people like that. Even if there are issues between you and that person that like they're not going to get resolved in a day. I wonder if some of you guys too, I feel like a lawyer vibe here, where it's like someone either has to work with a lawyer or someone is a lawyer and is like more of an independent, like wants to help the people for the people kind of a person, and has to work with others that where they know that those people haven't always been honest or something, or have sometimes like used things for their own benefit or for their own ego or whatever, and that's like a big challenge here. But that it's like you're limited on resources, so you have to like think about those kinds of things differently than you have in the past. It's all about communication. Whatever this is like getting the communication to be almost like in a legal sense valid. It just feels like, Libra, you start out here kind of in your emotions about something, upset about it, anxious about it, and then you move into a space where you're like, wait a minute, this can actually happen, but I can't use my emotional mind. I have to use my logic mind to move forward with this. So I think that that's kind of who you're going to be recruiting here. Look at that. And then we have the Queen of Gardens, who represents somebody. The Queen and King of Pentacles are the people who will build a dynasty that benefits others, even if they haven't met them yet. The Pentacle suit is one that, like, I relate them to the Arabic proverb, the good man plants trees whose shade he knows he'll never sit in. Pentacles are all about dynasty building, long-term building. You might not reap the benefits of things, but you can certainly create spaces and environments that function for others that you know are coming. We have the Queen of Gardens with strength right behind here. You might be dealing with a Leo or an Aries, or maybe just some fire signs that are a little, maybe that's your you have like a diplomatic nature naturally, Libra, maybe that's something that you're being asked to use, is like, you can lean into diplomacy because it suits who you are. Sometimes it means that you're getting walked all over, and sometimes it means that it's hurting you to not speak up, and sometimes it can leave a bad taste in your mouth to be so diplomatic. Sometimes it can mean that you feel like you're leaving yourself behind. I think in this sense, it is your strength. You have the energy and the endurance to be diplomatic through something. I also think that there are other people who are not going to be that way. And I believe that they will shoot themselves in the foot because of it. And if you stay diplomatic, if you stay in your logic mind when you're regarding all of these things, and then you process your emotions like in your own time and with people that you trust, and like in a way where you're actively processing them. Maybe that's through therapy, maybe that's through journaling, maybe that's through exercise, or like some kind of regimen that allows those feelings to flow, that allows you to then process them or analyze them or reflect on them. Maybe there's things that you have in your life where you've put in kind of place markers of when you need to slow down and when you need to like breathe, and when you need to just look at what is there that is good and be in that energy for a moment before you come back to what it is that you're trying to do. But regardless, it's like your natural diplomacy is really highlighted here. It's saying that like you do possess both minds, but one is fit to change the situation and the other one drives that it needs to change in the first place. And so it can be kind of difficult to separate those two when the time is right. But I do think that that's actually the lesson that you're learning here, is like, is to kind of be slow and steady in a race and to come out on top. And maybe that's something that you haven't always experienced. But I do think that this is a time where you are being given the strength to put energy towards this consistently, to see something come from it that does benefit others, not just you. And and not in like selfish ways or like self-aggrandizing ways, in ways where it definitely, other people are better off because of it. Experience less depression, less anxiety, less isolation, whatever it is. I do think that there are people in the world who want to change the people around them so that the world is easier for them. And I think that there are people in the world who want to change the things around them so that everyone experiences an easier time in this life that we've kind of just made difficult ourselves. It's really not just ending up on a planet as people that cause the problems. It's the actual people, and kind of like outdated ways of thinking and stuff. I think that that's what you're up against here, is that there's some people who are coming from a place of like, I want to protect and preserve my fellow humans, and whatever they become, like whatever that grows them into, I just want to protect the space that lets them blossom, because not everyone is outright given that ability. And we see what it does when the world just kind of crushes you before you have a chance to explore it and understand what it could do for you. I think that you're going up against people who, it's almost like they're quicker to anger, they're quicker to make selfish decisions, they are quicker to have their own best interest in mind, stuff like that. And what I think is happening with you that's kind of trailing off of the Virgo reading is that you hold it in a little bit longer, and you make sure that what you're wanting is what's best for everyone. I just saw a meme the other day that said like, someone was like, man, there's some people who like really trust themselves and other people who question themselves all the time. And someone responded and was like, hey, we got to see all sides, right? Like sometimes you don't even agree with what you believe in. You can over process something that much. Sometimes you can forget that you agree with yourself. or why you agree with it. And this kind of looks like a foundation that is laid out so that that can happen. I'm going to grab you an angel message. And it's coming from a place of love. It's just coming from a place of wanting to be cozy and comfortable around other people and to not have to hide things, to be authentic, to genuinely work through things, to just address the problems as they are and to not negate them and leave it for someone else. An undealt with problem is not a problem that goes away. It just kind of becomes a scream later. Maybe that's also something that you've dealt with, is that like, maybe it's been difficult to manage your own anger or something because it never was justified, validated. Like, you were never allowed to just say that your heart was sad because of the injustice of things. It always had to be like, this is how it was, or this is how it is, or, well, that's just how the world is. And I think something usually wakes up within us at some point and is like, but I'm a part of the world and that doesn't work for me. Instead of saying, yeah, that's what works for the world and I'm outside of that. You're not. You're a part of the world, you know? So what is the Libra's angel message here? I think also, like, go easy on yourself. There's things that you're changing within yourself and experiencing. So, like, the things that are changing are new to you, but needed. And that might be triggering. Actually, that likely would be triggering. It's just going to be a sensitive time, right? It's just going to be a sensitive time. It's not easy to work through these kinds of things. It's not easy to stick with them. And it's not easy to, like, see yourself again and again in the mirror every day and to love yourself and love who you are and who you're becoming, while you're feeling like if you're isolated in what you believe is your justice or what you believe is justice for others, it's easy to feel like a fraud or like you have no business being there. You have no business doing all those things. And I think that's not what, that's the feeling that you're working through or that you're overcoming, if that's you. Make yourself your most important financial obligation by setting aside a portion of your income every time you are paid. This loving form of self-care ensures that you'll have savings to invest in your present and your future. I get that from the oracle cards. It's like there's just a lot of hang on, let me silence this. There's just a lot of stuff that keeps reiterating, like, this is your path. Like, you're on the right one. A plan you have made is on track. If you are waiting for something, get to work and stop putting off ideas or projects you are considering. You'll have savings to invest in your present and your future. It's kind of like, Libra, where you're going is a place where you will thrive. What you're doing now is kind of like sowing seeds that it can exist at all. And one of the ways that you can, like, take action on that belief is by setting aside physical resources to plan for the time when all of that is happening. It's kind of saying, like, bet on yourself, you know? This is you, like, learning to manifest these things. Release jealousy. Jealousy is an affirmation that you don't have something, and the universe manifests exactly as you affirm. Let other people's successes inspire rather than frustrate you. If they can have it, so can you. So if you find yourself kind of wondering, like, if other people can make these things happen and I can't, like, does that invalidate me as a person? If you're in that realm of thought, I think that it's important to remember, like, you're in the process of building yours. You're currently walking that path. And I think that it just tells me that that winning is new for you, you know? And that's not something that you should be ashamed of. That's something that you should welcome all the reasons that have made you feel that way into your awareness with, like, love and compassion. Because we don't lose because we're not good enough, or because we didn't try hard enough, or whatever it is. A lot of the times we don't have the support, the foundation, the needs met, the guidance, the things that are needed to quote unquote succeed, you know? So I think that might actually be the end of the reading, because I'm not getting any more cards. Oh, there's 2. Okay. This one said, I'll read all of them. Face your financial fears. When you are honest with yourself about fears of success or failure, they can no longer control you. Be free of hidden fears by exposing them to the light of awareness, and you'll realize that you, in fact, have nothing to fear, and that every successful person has struggled with and released these self-doubts. Donations, tithing, and charitable work. Have courage to ask for and accept help. Asking for help is a sign of strength, as is accepting it as it is offered to you. Very often, when you ask God for help, prayers are answered through other people. Be sure to accept this assistance as well as give it to others as you are guided. Give joyfully to the organizations and people who spiritually support and inspire you, and know that your generosity will be returned to you manyfold in miraculous ways. The time, supplies, money, or other resources you donate will ensure that your positive energy multiplies. So that's what I'm seeing for you guys, Libra. I hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you in another video. Bye, guys.